So Damian Lillard has suffered some sort of injury to what I believe is it seems like it's an Achilles injury.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with it seems like an Achilles injury. There is no final word on this, right? Chris Haynes has reported that there is fear that he has torn his Achilles. If I remember, I'm looking for the tweet here from Haynes. Milwaukee Bucks star Damian Lillard will not return tonight against the Indiana Pacers. League sources tell me injury potentially severe. Sources, the fear is Bucks star Damian Lillard suffered a left Achilles tear. Brutal circumstances after working himself back from a blood clot diagnosis that kept him out for a month. I mean, I don't know how connected these things were. Obviously, it's the other leg that the blood clot was in, but like, who knows what his conditioning was like? Like, he hasn't played well in this series, obviously. I know that he's like the ultimate competitor, but like sometimes organizationally you have to save ultimate competitors from themselves, right? In this series, he had, I'm like looking through, didn't play game 1 and then shoots 30% in game 2, 16% in game 3. And then, obviously tonight he plays 6 minutes. Like, he didn't look good is the thing. And like, I don't know. I wonder if him playing was the right call at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, just reading through some things here and there as we were recording, that was brought up, that, conditioning potentially related stuff. I was surprised the amount of minutes he played. I mean, it made me look completely wrong because I was like, oh, he won't play 38 minutes in his first game back. And he played 37 minutes in game 2, played 32 minutes, it looks like, in game 3. And then obviously this happened, I believe, in the first quarter tonight. So I don't know enough to know. It just seems like it seemed very fast and very aggressive from an outsider that doesn't know enough to think anything other than that. It'll be interesting if people smarter than me can say, but yeah. The other thing is it just sucks for Dame. It does. An all-time fun player to watch. He's 34 years old, Sam. If it is an Achilles, that's taking away his year 35 season. These things aren't easy to come back from. It's a little bit sad just as a fan of the NBA and of the game. And, this is one of those guys that, I've watched his entire career. That maybe we've seen the best of him, and it's behind him. So, just hopefully he recovers and we can see some more.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, we're going to do off-season previews.
Yeah.
At a later date, and the Bucks will be among the first ones that we do. And like, look, we've tried to avoid the Giannis trade portion of the proceedings on this show throughout its entirety because it just didn't feel all that real to me. But this is now the first time that it feels very real to me, because you have Brook Lopez as a free agent. You have Damian Lillard probably missing the entire season next year with the torn Achilles, assuming that that's what this is, which, I think that we can probably have that discussion at this point. You have Kyle Kuzma is a dude that's on the roster, and he has been a utter train wreck this so far. Doc Rivers is the coach, and Doc has been atrocious this year. Like, I actually don't know how you get out of this tailspin if you're the Bucks right now, like, without moving him. And you don't have many of your picks. Like,
yeah,
that's the other issue. Like, I'll kind of look up their pick situation while we're talking, but I know that, it's not ideal. Let's go with. So their 2025 is going to Brooklyn. They have a pick swap with New Orleans in 2026. 2027 is going to New Orleans or Atlanta. Their 2028 is going to Portland or Washington, and they will get like the worst out of, a smorgasbord of teams. So they don't have their own pick in 2028. Their 2029 first is going to Portland or Washington. And then in 2030, their pick is a swap to Portland. So like they don't own any of their picks until 2031 right now.
They also don't have any good, let's just say good. They don't have any exciting young talent. No. Andre Jackson Jr. hasn't been able to stay in the lineup. Chris Livington, Tyler Smith, like Ryan Rollins actually played some quality minutes in the regular season when Dame was out, but hasn't been playing in the playoffs. And they got Prince and Gary Trent Jr. on vet mins. Like those guys are both free agents as well. Portis, Connaughton, Kevin Porter Jr. all have player options. Like it could look way different in Milwaukee next year. Maybe it doesn't, but there's definitely a path to it being.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So, how do they go about getting these picks back? Right. Like, cause that's the question. Like if you're going to move Giannis, you probably have to get your picks back on some level. Right. So 2026, they can get the New Orleans one back. 2027, I think that the most favorable goes to New Orleans. So like New Orleans would be the team there. So like those are two of the picks that you can get back. And then 2028, it looks like Portland has the most favorable one. In 2029, Portland has the most favorable one. And then 2030, Portland has the most favorable one. So like you almost need to try and execute a deal with like either New Orleans or Portland to get your picks back. Or all these picks from the Drew trade. The New Orleans picks are the Drew trade and the Portland picks are the Lillard trade. So like off the top of my head, and when we do the, breakdown or whatever, like the offseason preview, we'll talk about this, but, and I guess that'll probably be next week at this point when we'll have that up. Like you could do Houston and you could try to get like Şengün and stuff or Amen and stuff, like whatever you want to value. And like you could try to contend with those guys, and those are all younger players, and you could try to like, middle it a little bit. Or you could try and get your picks back. Or maybe you can do like a little bit of both, right? Like maybe, Portland wants something in that deal where like they're interested in Tari Eason or something. I'm not saying they would be or wouldn't be, but like everything's on the table in a Giannis trade. So, it's not like you're hiding anything. Like, could you get like two of your picks back and like throw a third team in there somehow that would get something that they want, right? And I'm not saying Tari Eason's worth like 2 first-round picks from Milwaukee going to Portland or anything. I'm just like trying to problem solve here off the top of my head without having like really thought this through, because we've been podcasting this entire time since the Dame injury happened.
I mean, I would just trade Giannis for Luka, right? Giannis is better than AD, so that should get you Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and like that, so like that's the other thing, right? Like, is there a signed star long term like that you try and do this for, or like multiple signed stars? To me, probably not, because Giannis is the best star that you can have.
I was joking, by the way, for everybody listening, I don't think the Lakers will trade Luka Doncic, but yeah, it will. I don't know. That one will be fun.
Yeah, this now, like though, like again, I feel for Bucks fans. I feel for Lillard above all, because like this is actually happening to him. Mm-hmm. But like I really feel for Bucks fans, because this, like tonight, this became like very real now to me, where you do wonder, okay, like next year is a gap year. Like you can't triage this lineup enough to contend. There's nothing you can do really.
And Giannis is 30, so he's like fine, but he's getting to the point where I don't know how many gap years you want to waste of his. I mean, this year kind of ended up being a waste because like they just never were able to put it together. And then like, is he going to want to sign up for a year without a number 2? I mean, the roster is going to be worse next year if they just try to keep it together, I feel like. And so I don't know. I'm with you. I haven't ever really thought about it enough to take it serious. Tonight, it all of a sudden got real. And like you said, it sucks for Dame, and that's who you really feel bad for. But there seems like there will be some trickle down effects of this injury beyond just how it affects Damian.
And worth noting, Giannis has 2 years left guaranteed on his deal, and then has a player option in 2027, 28. So any team acquiring him wouldn't have to even worry about extending him until next summer. Or even the summer. I can't remember. It's either next summer or the summer after that.
He's extension eligible in 26.
So, yeah, I mean, just trying to think through other landing spot. I mean, look, we'll do this a different time, right? Because I don't really want to, try to think all the way through this. But off the top of my head, Houston's the immediate team that came to my mind.
Yep. With
all this. And you do Şengün and a bunch of other things, a lot of other things. I'm not saying it's Şengün alone. It's Şengün plus, 3 or 4 other significant assets.
Yeah. For real assets. Sure.
Yeah. So that's where this is at. And the reason it's Şengün is because Şengün and Giannis would struggle to play together, in my opinion. And Toronto is another one I was trying to figure out. Could you do Scotty in some way? But I think we're just kind of trying to throw things together off the top of my head. But Houston's off the top of my head, Houston's the one that makes the most sense. And this is what Houston, I think, has been waiting for a little bit, is a true top 5 player to become available.
Yeah.
To make this work. So, and they can outbid everybody if they want. So that's the immediate team that came to mind. And we'll talk about that during their offseason preview.